Hi, good morning. My name is Rajesh and I'm from RSR Global Limited. I'm joined together by Mr. Sanjeet Sinha from Ukraine, Ms. Natalia, Mr. Ludmila, Mr. Igor, Mr. Anna, and we have members and guests who joined us, and they are joining our session from across the world. Today we are talking about study in Ukraine, and we will have a couple of presentations. We will request you all to please mute your microphone at the end of the presentation. You can put together your questions and answers, and we will have a respectable members of the panel to answer on the session or any questions you have. Ukraine is a known country. A lot of people from India and Asia, they like to go and travel abroad to study. So without taking a further ado, I would like to share my screen, and I will talk you through on Ukraine, studies in Ukraine. Give me a second and we'll just take it from there. So this is we initially, when we planned on organizing session, we were able to contact only Mr. Sanjeet Sinha, who is Associate Director for RSR Global in Kyiv, Ukraine. And we had a brilliant opportunity to also invite Ms. Natalia Chukhrai, who is the Vice Chancellor of LVOV Polytechnical University in Ukraine, to talk to us. But as we progressed and when we started the marketing, we found that we were given the honor and to have additional team members from different universities in Ukraine to join the session. The session is recorded and is live streamed via Facebook and YouTube. The recording of the session will be available on the YouTube in the coming days. Please keep your microphone switched off. We will take your requests at the end of the session. You can contact RSR Global at contact@rsrglobal.co, or you can visit our website on www.rsrglobal.co. You can call us in the UK on 0044 800 256 2978. RSR Global has a dedicated team of advisors who deliver personalized support to each student through every step of the admissions process, from choosing an institute, application, student visa, and loans. We have a great worldwide presence with offices in over 11 countries, so that we can provide our clients with guidance to some of the most widely acclaimed universities across the world. I'm honored to introduce you to Ms. Natalia Chukhrai, Professor, Lviv Polytechnic National University, Ms. Mutsenko Ludmila, Head of Foreign Student Adoption Teams, Bogmola University, Kyiv, Ukraine, Ms. Anna from National Memorial Medical University, Vinnytsia, and Mr. S.K. Sinha, who is Associate Director, RSR Global, Kyiv. Lvov Polytechnic National University, Ms. Natalia Chukhrai is a Vice Chancellor of Education and International Relations. Lviv Polytechnic National University is the oldest technical higher education institute in Ukraine and Eastern Europe. It was founded in 1816 and has remained a center of scientific and technological research throughout its history. Notable alumni continue to progress in countless domains, including politics, mathematics, and aviation. Welcome on board, Ms. Natalia Chukhrai. We also joined together by Ms. Ludmila. She is the head of Foreign Student Adaptation Team from Bogmola National Medical University. Bogmola National Medical University is an ancient organization that was formed 176 years ago with the aim of providing excellence. It's considered to be one of the most prestigious medical colleges in Ukraine. The university is located in Kyiv, a cosmopolitan area city, and attracts students from over 60 countries, a large proportion of which are from India. So loads of students travel to Ukraine to study, and Bogmola is one of the preferred ones in the capital city of Ukraine. We also joined together by Ms. Anna. She's from National Memorial Medical University, Vinnytsia, which is a high medical institute founded in 1921. The national status of the university was acquired in 2002, and in the same year, it was awarded the diplomas of the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine and Verkhnova Rada of Ukraine. Since then, the institute has trained over 6,000 students annually and involved in extensive research across science and medicine. I'd like to welcome Miss Anna from Winchester University of Medical Memorial Medical University. Last but not the least, I would like to welcome Mr. S.K. Sinha, who is Associate Director of RSR Global Kyiv. Mr. Sinha has lived in Ukraine for over 30 years and has been involved in sales, marketing, education, and consultancy within RSR Global. His time in Ukraine has provided him with extensive knowledge and experience with higher education institutions across Ukraine. Mr. Sinha did his master's degree from Lviv Political University. Sometimes people call it LVOV, but apologies if I've not been able to pronounce some of the names. It's a bit difficult for me, but apologies if I have spelled some of the names or the names of the universities wrongly. But without wasting any further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Sinha. Mr. Sinha, would you like to share your screen and talk us through, sir? Do you need any assistance, Mr. Sinha, to share the screen? Mr. Sinha, you'd like to unmute your microphone, sir. Mr. Sinha, you need to unmute your microphone, sir. Yes, that's better.
But it's... Hello, my name is Sanjeet Sinha. I am here in Ukraine from more than 30 years, and we are working together with RSR Global, taking care of Ukraine, study in Ukraine. I have studied in Lvov and finished Lvov Polytech, computer Naya Technica, 1995. So coming directly to the positions, study in Ukraine. Yes, I start in speaking in Russian. Okay, why Ukraine? For higher education, why we had to select Ukraine? There are basic 4 points which is interested for the students outside in India or South Asian countries, which I mentioned here. All the institute in Ukraine is more highly education institutes and effective teaching effort methods and internationally recognized. Second point, education in Ukraine is both useful and very beneficial. In comparison with out European countries, the price of education in Ukraine is much lower than any country in Europe. According to Expat Insider 216, Ukraine was the most affordable country. Just a second. Affordable country in terms of living expenses and second best in terms of personal financial satisfaction. Foreign citizens as well as legal asylum seeking residing in Ukraine have the same rights, freedoms and obligations as citizens of Ukraine. That means all students coming out from outside get the same freedom, same opportunities which has within Ukrainian students. You can see This is the statistics of around 2016-2018. The number of international students is in Ukraine is higher education institutions, 64,000 practically from 147 countries. You see, the biggest portion of students comes from Azerbaijan, and second largest is India. After that, Turkmenistan, Morocco, Georgia, etc. Top 10 countries of origin of international students in Ukraine: Azerbaijan, India, Turkmenistan, Morocco, Georgia, Nigeria, Jordan, Uzbekistan, China, Egypt, and others. In 2015, it was only 185 institutions in Ukraine. In 2018, it was already 228. Right now, it is expected more than 250 universities in Ukraine. 10 most popular institutions for foreign students, which they prefer. Taras Shevchenko National University, Kyiv, said to be the best university of Ukraine. Second, LVOV National Polytechnical University, Lvov. Third, Bogomolets National Medical University, Kyiv. Fourth, National Pirogov Memorial Medical University, Vinnytsia. Zaporozhye State Medical University, Zaporozhye. Danilo Galiski Lvov National Medical University, Lvov. Kharkov National Medical University, Kharkov. State Institution, Dnipropetrovsk Medical Academy of the Ministry of Health of Ukraine, Dnipropetrovsk. HSE of Ukraine, Bukovian State Medical University, Chernivtsi, and Odessa National Medical University, Odessa. According to all of them are registered in MCI for the medical institutions, and there is some problem in Odessa at present with MCI. Mostly students prefer to study in Ukraine. First is medical, second management, third dentistry, fourth finance and credit, medicine, law, pharmacy, business economics, construction, accounting and auditing. And earlier it was like that if the students comes to study in Ukraine, they have to learn Ukrainian or Russian for the further study. So there was a preparatory courses at that time to teach 1 year course to teach Russian or Ukrainian. Now most of the university is teaching in English, so this faculty is practically gone. Area of study in Ukraine that we promote to prospective international students: medicine and pharmacology, avionics and rocket technology, applied physics and nanotechnology, gas and oil engineering and technology, shipbuilding and maritime engineering, atomic studies, agronomics, biology and genetics, and one is missing, that is IT. IT is very strong in Ukraine, and fortunately we have Lvov Polytechnic Institute. Mr. Natalia can prove this, and IT is said to be very strong as in India. How does a prospective international student join a Ukrainian higher education institution? That's a simple way. Go to RSR Global website, choose a program to study, contact local agent from RSR Global, complete your application form and follow the institution's instruction of agent. Apply for the student visa with the help of RSR Global agent. Prepare for your departure and welcome to Ukraine. And nowadays in Ukraine, most of the institute are teaching in English, and sometimes in another European languages also, like Spanish, like Turkish, like French, like Bulgarian, Romanian. They are also using these languages for students, for foreigner students.
Thank you, Mr. Sinha. It's been a very nice presentation. Thank you for talking us through on how to reach Ukraine. If you like to take your stop the screen share, sir. You have to stop your screen share, sir. That's very nice. Thank you, sir. It's been absolutely wonderful to hear about how to reach Ukraine. We have on the panel today Miss Natalia Chukhrai. Miss Natalia Chukhrai would like to talk us through on how to reach Ukraine, and she heads out as a Vice Chancellor of one of the finest universities in Ukraine. And she told me there's none better than hers. So we'd like to hear out from you, madam. The screen is yours. Would you like to share your screen and talk us through how to reach where you are, ma'am?
Yes, thank you very much, dear organizers. First of all, I am very glad to be here in this interesting event. And from the perspectives of our future collaboration, I hope it may be a good start to share the information. And I'm very happy that we have such alumni as Mr. Sanjeet and others. So we hope that this it will be a good example of the high qualified specialists that can prepare Lviv Polytechnic National University. Let me show you a small presentation about our university. We have prepared a few slides that can help you to understand our objectives and our university result. Let's start. Our university is one of the biggest high educational institution in Ukraine, and we have a great history. As you can see, that 2 years ago we celebrated 200 years of our university, and all this year our university are famous on the educational and scientific market. So these few figures show you that we have a big size. So we have over 35,000 students, and our staff is more than 2,000 professors, and we also are interested in involving foreign students to our educational program. About our educational products, so you can see that we offer 82 bachelor's programs on the first cycle level, 175 master programs on the second cycle level, and we have the biggest quantity of PhD programs in Ukraine among Ukrainian university, 55. And I think it may be the good advantages that we have all these three levels, and the foreign student may enter to the bachelor program, continue the education in the master program, and then even PhD programs. We are proud that the last 2 years was very successful for our university. So in world ranking Times Higher Education, we are the first university among Ukrainian other high institutions. So you can see that a year ago we had got place 800 plus, and this year we increased our position, and nowadays our university has got 500 plus position, and for subjects, for educational subject are present in this world ranking, and we are very strong in the sphere of computer science, as Mr. Sanjeet have mentioned. So you can see that among world university, the direction computer science, we has got 200 plus. I think for Ukrainian university, it's a very high position. We are also very strong in business and economics. We are the first among Ukrainian university, and only one in this ranking on the list of 1,000 plus. So also present the such subject as engineering and technology and physical sciences. Our university is very diversified. We are not only technical university, and I separate all our 16 institutes for 5 directions. First is construction, agriculture, architecture and geodesic direction, and you can see Institute of Architecture, Institute of Building and Environmental Engineering, and Institute of Geodesy. The second direction is engineering direction, and it includes Institute of Power Engineering and Control System, Institute of Engineering, Mechanics and Transport, and Institute of Telecommunication, Radio Electronics and Electronic Engineering. The third group of institutes that they are really very strong in the world educational market is the direction of IT technology, and 3 institutes of computer science, informational technology, computer technology, automation, metrology, Institute of Advanced Technologies are deliver educational courses for the students in the sphere of IT. The fourth direction is chemical technology, ecological and natural direction, and here you can see the Institute of Sustainable Development, Institute of Chemistry, Chemical Technology, Institute of Applied Mathematics and Fundamental Sciences, and the fifth direction deal with the economical, managerial, social, humanitarian direction is the Institute of Economic and Management, Humanities, Social Sciences, Law, Psychology, Innovation Education, and so on. In the previous presentation, the previous speakers told a few advantages why to study at Ukraine, and I would like to add why to study in Lviv. You see, Lviv is a city in the UNESCO list. It's a very affordable city in terms of living expenses. It's a culture capital of Ukraine, and last year it was the title, we have got title the capital of young people of Ukraine. So you see the environment in Lviv is very creative, is very affordable and very pleasant, and it's a very safe city. These slides show you all these advantages, a lot of cultural event, a lot of interesting places. That's why the students' life in Lviv is very interesting. And prices and values are also very not high and very affordable in comparing of the other big cities in Ukraine. You can see that our university is big, is ancient, and that's why we have a big infrastructure. You can see the near 40 educational buildings. We have 16 hostels, dormitories for students, and 22 modern education and research centers, laboratories, have tech startup schools, school. This year we started scientific park, 2 libraries, even one astronomical observatory, geodesic providing ground, publishing house, and 5 recreation camps. On this slide, you can see that among all these educational program, we have a lot in English language educational program and you can see that students can continue their education starting from the bachelor 4 years educational program to the master that are 2 years master program and even PhD. And this year we studied one MBA program, is an MBA in international management. So you can see that we have these English language programs in the sphere of construction and civil engineering, architecture, applied mechanics, industrial engineering, computer science, management, public management administration, marketing, urban planning, and so on. We have the big campus, and it includes also 3 sport ground, 1 student clinic, 1 football pitch, 1 student club. And as we was founded 200 years ago, that's why it helped us that all our campus and dormitories are located in the center or very close to the center. And it's also, we think it's also our advantages. Lviv Polytechnic National University is situated very close to the border and to the border with the European Union countries. So you can see that we have more than 200 international agreements of cooperation with foreign institutes, with foreign companies. A lot of our students participate in dual educational program and also in academic mobility. We have a lot of international grant and project annually, and this is one of our priorities of international activity, grant activity, project activity, and most of these agreements are with the European country, and all our double degrees program also with European country. And we think that nowadays we are ready open to the not only to the east, but also not only in the west, but also to the east. And you can see on this slide this year we signed 7 agreement with China's university, and we are also are open to cooperate on the market of India with institution from India. You can see that we are the member of a lot of international organization. Most of them are also European, because our strategy in the previous period was we are very oriented to the European countries and the rules. So you can see that we have double diploma programs with Polish, German, Italian, English, French, Slovak university. And you see we have the practice that our international students also can take part in these double diploma programs, and also in our, for example, academic mobility. For example, this semester 2 students from Egypt with our Ukrainian students are in London, where we with Kingston University have the educational program financed by European funds. This slide show our cooperation with international and foreign companies and institutions. Most of them are in the engineering sphere and IT sphere, and also all of them are from the Europe. We also try to develop our innovation infrastructures because we think that the modern university must develop in three vectors in science, education, and innovation. So you can see that we have a few organizations and departments at our university that help our students to realize engineering talent and startup desiring. So Tech Startup School, Tech Labino, that deal with prototyping, modeling, technical support with drone, and another very interesting modern technical support with aviation, avionica, and so on. A solution hub working with government and international investment groups that invest the startups of our technical students. Startup Era, it's the crowdfunding platform. It's the first crowdfunding platform among all Ukrainian university. And as I have mentioned, we organize this year scientific park. So you can see that in the world of tech startup school, we organized hackathons rather in IT direction with a specialist and IT mentors, IT event meeting. Annually, we organized a scientific festini where our students can show their scientific development or something startup, providing winter and summer training camp, traditional creative spark training that support with British Council from Great Britain, and also, as I mentioned, competence start here. So we try to organize in Lviv Polytechnic some academic and student mobility, and you can see the only a few examples of the events that we can help students to spend interesting and useful life in the world of Lviv Polytechnic University, and you can see deal with sustainable development, some festivals, some scientific fest, like Scientific Picnic in Europe and International Students' Day, and so on. So this slide show the possibilities of cultural life, of sport clubs, of some creative groups in music, in dance that are in our university. And I have told that we have the recreation camps in the coast of Black Sea and in the Carpathian Mountains. They camps for students, and all this infrastructure and all our efforts are coordinated to form our main objectives. And I hope that with the help of your company, together we will reach our mission to form future leaders who work wisely, creatively, effectively, and it will help us to reach our vision to become the first university in Ukraine by international and national ranking. Thank you very much for the inviting for this possibility.
Thank you, Ms. Natalia. Absolutely wonderful, madam. I'm actually in love with your university, and if I can get a course, I would like to come and join as well. So moving on from there, thank you very much. It's an absolute wonderful university and a very good complex. And I'm glad that it's among one of the top universities coming up within the 500, and you do so well in computer sciences and some other areas. We will put some questions for you, Ms. Natalia, at some point of time after in a short while. Next on the panel, we have Ms. Ludmila. Muchiyanko Ludmila. Apologies, madam, if not been able to pronounce your name properly, but the panel is on to you, ma'am, if you'd like to talk us through about the university at Bogmole Medical University, madam. Thank you. Ms. Ludmila, your microphone, madam, it's switched on. Can you connect it, please? Yes. Ms. Ludmila, we are not able to hear you. You might have to take the microphone out of the computer, and then you can talk directly to the microphone. Uh,
Okay, Miss.
yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you too. So one more greetings to everybody who is now on the meeting, to organizers, to colleagues, and of course to our prospective applicants who are, we suppose, interested in studying at our university. To begin with, let me introduce the Bogomolets National Medical University. It is one of the oldest and greatest foundations in Ukraine for highest quality of medical education. And sure, it has a great history. And briefly about our main events in our history. The university was founded in 1841 at the medical faculty of St. Vladimir Kiev University. And the first dean of the faculty was Karavai Volodymyr Apanasovich, who headed the faculty between 1843 and 1847. Among main and important events in the life of our university is the first date, 1846. It was the first graduation in our university, and there were only 12 graduates who received their diplomas of doctors. In 1921, the university got its autonomy, and at that time there were 2,670 students at our university. They were studying here. In 1946, our university was named after Ukrainian famous pathophysiologist Alexander Alexandrovich Bogomolets. Is his photo, and we are proud of him. And in 1995, we received the status of national. And nowadays, the Bogomolets National Medical University is one of the best higher educational institutions, which provides training and gives knowledge and skills in accordance with the requirements of the European system of medical education. Over 14,000 students are studying here, and almost 1,300 highly qualified professionals are working there as teachers. We have 10 faculties and 87 university departments, 2 scientific research institutes, Educational Scientific Center, which is called Ukrainian Training Center of Family Medicine. Besides it, Institute of Postgraduate Education. There are 54 clinical departments of university, which are located in 142 bases. We have 8 academic buildings, library with internet center, student quarter and 6 hostels, health and recreation resorts, sports and health camp medic. And we also have organized an Indian cultural center, because a great part of our foreign students are from India. Nowadays, we have 3,000 foreign students from 64 countries, and as I mentioned, almost 1,200 students are from India. And some words about admission. These days, especially next year, in 2021, we are planning to have 2 admission sessions. For foreign people. The first session will start on the 15th of January, and it will last till the 1st of March. And the second session will be on the 14th of July, and it will last, we suppose, until the 1st of November 2021. Students in our university can either enroll a desired specialty as the first course or enter their preparatory department. Studying here lasts only 1 year, and according to the program, students study language, Ukrainian language, as well as biology, chemistry, mathematics, and physics, which are needed to take further 3 oral exams for entering the desired specialty. And studying at preparatory department costs $1,200 for the course. If students or applicants are interested in entering the first course, our university provides 3 specialties for them: medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy. For entering the first course of any specialty, applicants must take 3 oral exams and sure thing successfully pass them. First exams, the exam is language, English, Ukrainian. It's depends on the applicant. Then biology or chemistry, and mathematics or physics. And let's focus on each specialty very briefly. First of all, the most popular specialty in our university among foreign citizens is medicine. To get a master's degree, students have to study for 6 years, and their cost depend on language form of studying. In English form, the cost of it is $4,500 per year, and studying in Ukrainian, students have to pay $3,500. The next popular specialty is dentistry. To get a master's degree, students study for 5 years and pay also for English language form $4,700 per year, and for Ukrainian language form $4,000 per year. And at last, for getting master's degree in pharmacy, students study for 5 years and pay for English language form $4,000 per year, and for Ukrainian language form $3,200 also per year. I should add that in general, training is carried out in theoretical and clinical departments in our university. Theoretical department studying includes obtaining fundamental knowledge in anatomy, histology, chemistry, physics, physiology, and other subjects, which are necessary for further education, especially for clinical studying at clinical departments, because in clinical departments, students become familiar with medical specialties, diseases, modern approaches of treatment. Of course, they put their knowledge into practice and develop their skills. And at least I have mentioned maybe the most important information about our university and admission. On the page, there is an official website address for those applicants who want to get more detailed information. So thank you very much to organizers for the invitation. Thank you for attention from our colleagues, and we hope to see prospective applicants from all over the world next year, firstly as applicants and then as our students. So have a nice day, and thank you for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ludmila. Very nice, fantastic. And we have heard so much about Bogmole University. Madam, would you like to return the screen back to us, if it's okay with you?
Okay.
That's absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much, madam. It's an absolute wonderful presentation on Bogmole University. While I was listening to Ms. Ludmila, I was doing some calculation on my phone, and I was trying to find out how much would it cost to study a course in Ukraine compared to someone coming to UK. And I was a bit stunned that it costs almost 10 times to study in England than to study in Ukraine. Or for that matter, it costs 3 times cheaper to study in Ukraine than in India. So, and hence the reason when you said most students come from India to study in Ukraine is an absolute wonderful reason. That's the perfect reason why people come there. And I have also been given to understand that when they do the course in Ukraine, in a medical field for that matter, it is recognized by the Medical Council of India. So people who study, they can come back and they can work, but it's an absolute wonderful thing. I would like to pass on the screen to Mr. Sanjeet Sinha. Sir, would you like to introduce other members of the panel who would like to talk us through? And if you need to do some translation, we'll appreciate if you can do that as well, sir.
Hello. Unfortunately, Bandarchuk Anna Ivanovna, Alevna is not available. She has gone for some emergency duties. So his boss and his father, Mr. Oleg Ivanovich, is with us, and hopefully he will like to talk few minutes. But he will talk in Russian. I will translate that. Oleg Ivanovich.
Mr. Sinha, you'd like to request him to unmute the microphone, please.
Speaker, включите микрофон.
It's okay.
Включите микрофон. В программе есть знак микрофона, и она там красным, его нажимать нужно. Да, у вас звук.
I think we have a bit of an issue going on with the microphone, Mr. Sinha. May I request you to please request the gentleman to talk us through when his microphone is able to come back on and it's working. We have Mr. Igor. Mr. Igor, are you representing us from Vinnytsia University, sir? On behalf
Igor,
of...
Hello. Igor is also from LVOV Polytech.
All right, okay.
He is with Natalia Chukhrai.
All right, okay.
Mr.
Sinha, we have quite a few questions being put up in on the panel. Is that okay, sir? If I can put the questions, and when the microphones are being resolved, we can take questions. Is that okay with you, sir?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay, fantastic. So without taking other further ado, we have lots of questions coming out, and I will leave Mr. Sinha, Ms. Natalia, Mr. Ludmila to answer them as it goes along. Anyway, the first question which is coming through, and they want to know. Obviously, the one of the question which one gentleman has put in through is the best thing to study in the Ukraine, and if they want to after study want to live in Europe after completion. So if somebody wants to come to Ukraine, study there, and then he wants to stay in Ukraine or wants to stay in Europe, which is the best course to take on? Would Ms. Natalia like to answer that, madam?
You see, I emphasize this on the possibility to, for example, study in double degree programs with, for example, University of Germany, French, Poland, or Slovak. You see, it's the first way to be after the our educational program to be in European Union. And also we have the good examples of practice of during the studying of practice on the European enterprises. Most of them are in Poland or Germany, and that's why it's also may help students then after the university can give a clear understanding of European market, of European needs. So, and that's why I think, and our diploma, for example, our students and also our alumni with the Ukrainian diploma works in through all the year. So our diploma is equal the European diploma, and that's why, and most of them in IT and engineering, it's not a problem. Maybe in the sphere of law, because they need to pass some exams, but in the engineering and in IT sphere, it will be not a problem.
Thank you, Ms. Natalia. Thank you very much, madam, for that. I have another question which has come through. Obviously, there are loads of questions coming out, and we are running out of time, but we will address as we go along. One of the major concerns for someone who comes to a different country to live or study, they are very worried in the initial first days. They don't know anybody. And one of the questions has been put through, what sort of care or support given by the university? Like, for example, a student comes to UK, there's a different department in the university where they give pastoral care. So there are someone to talk them through, advise them. Is there something like this exists in Ukraine as well?
May I ask, you see, we have the Department of Foreign Students. Each institute has its decanate, but we have also the Department for Foreign Students, where the staff are ready to help in advice, in consulting. We have they offer visa support, and I have mentioned we have 16 dormitories. That's why about the settlement, it's not a problem. But sometimes students from the, for example, they want not to be in a dormitory, but rather in apartments. And Lviv, as a tourist city, has a lot of different level apartments. That's why I think it may be not a problem.
Thank you, Ms. Natalia. Absolutely wonderful. It's a very important thing to give pastoral care when someone travels abroad and they go to live or work. And most time when people or students, they leave for undergraduate course, they are hardly 18 or 17. And for the first time, they have left the confines of their home. So it is obviously a little bit of care, pastoral care by university is needed. And I'm very glad that Ms. Natalia mentioned the fact that they have ample support by them. I think the next question goes to Ms. Ludmila. Ms. Ludmila, the next question goes to you, madam, and this is to do on the medical degree. It says, is there any internship program for students post completion of medical degree?
So first of all applicants who enter our university, the first course, they obtain a master degree after 6 or 5 years of education. Then they, after getting the diploma, they can continue studying and clinical department here in Ukraine, or they can go abroad. It's up to them. So we have such programs. We help our foreign students to continue their studying on clinical departments to get a high degree, or they can take their master's degree and continue studying abroad. A large part of our graduates go abroad and continue studying, or they work abroad, not in Ukraine.
Thank you, Ms. Natalia. Thank you very much, madam. It's an absolute wonderful reply to that. We will take two questions before we move on to Mr. Oleg. I think his microphone is now been resolved. So the question arises, I think, Ms. Natalia, if you can like to answer, or Ms. Ludmila, and this is about if somebody has done his studies and in Ukraine, and they would like to stay in Ukraine and work. Is that something still encouraged? Or one of the obviously the answer to the question would be that Mr. Sanjeet Sinha traveled to Ukraine to study 30 years ago, and we haven't seen him back since then. So he never came back to India. So I think that answers the question. But I think if you like to answer, is this still something encouraged and still people like to stay in Ukraine, or is this something which the government helps or whatever? Ma'am, would you like to answer to that, please?
Yes, may I start? You see, Lviv is ancient city, is in a list of UNESCO, but we have two clusters of market. We are specialized not only in tourism, but in IT clusters, and more than 3,000 companies work here in Lviv, and we feel the strong needs in high specialist of IT. That's why our students, our Ukrainian and foreign students, start to work in these foreign IT companies from their second and third years of study. And in this sphere, in IT sphere, Ukrainian economy and these foreign companies that they are present in our market are very interesting in students in the sphere of IT. So we open such interesting programs of artificial intellect, Internet of Things, and so on. This year we started an international accreditation. So in this sphere, I emphasize we are very strong because most of students want to enter to this direction, and we have a very business market labor that need students. In the engineer sphere, it's lower needs, but in IT we really feel a lot of needs in the labor market. Thank you.
That's very kind, Ms. Natalia. Thank you very much. We'll take one last question before we head out to Mr. Oleg. And this is a question, ma'am, it's a two-pronged question. First question is the medical program or dentistry for 6 years or 5 years plus the preparatory year. That's question number one. Second thing, to get admissions in India, people need to go through an examination called NEET examination, NEET, which gives them the qualification to join medical colleges. Is this something which is needed in Ukraine as well? So the question is medical program and dentistry is 6 years or 5 years plus preparatory exam or preparatory year? Or second thing is there a NEET required to join a university in Ukraine? Ms. Ludmila,
it's
if
a
you like to
question
answer
for
that,
me.
yes,
Okay, I understand. On the contrary, from medical specialty, students in dentistry study for 5 years, not 6, for 5 years to get master degree. But then they can continue studying on the higher level of education in clinical departments. But it's not obvious to them. A great deal of students get a master degree and they work, and it's okay to work with master's degree. It's normal. They don't need to continue their studying on the higher level. So it's up to them. And the next question
was the NEET examination, madam?
NEET, yes. Yes, we demand from Indian students having this NEET exam test certificate. So it's demanded, really.
Thank you, Ms. Ludmila. Thank you very much. I would like to pass on the screen to Mr. Oleg. Mr. Oleg, would you like to talk us through on Ukrainian studies and to be translated by Mr. Sanjeet Sinha? Mr. Oleg, over to you, sir.
Добрый день. Я представитель Винницкого медицинского университета, доцент кафедры хирургии.
Слушаем, да? Вы поговорите с ним.
Слышно меня?
Yes, да, слушаем. He is a higher professor of Vinnytsia Medical University and professor, a doctor.
Винницкий медицинский университет основан более 90 лет назад. В настоящее время у нас 55 кафедр.
Vinnytsia University is established more than 90 years before, and more than 55 faculties are there right now.
На этих кафедрах работает более 120 докторов наук, профессоров и более 550 кандидатов наук, доцентов.
In this faculty, more than 120 professors and scientists, more than 500 scientists are working there.
В университете 5 факультетов, на которых обучается более 6250 студентов. В том числе
They have 5 branches in university, and at present more than 6,000 students are studying there.
В том числе более 2000 иностранных студентов.
In that, more than 2,000 foreign students.
Из 106 стран Европы, Азии, Востока, Латинской Америки и Африки.
More than 160 countries, from more than 160 countries.
Университет закончило более 7500 иностранных студентов и 44 тысячи местных врачей.
From this university, more than 7,500 foreign students have finished medical, and local more than 45,000.
Кроме учебного процесса, сотрудниками университета проводится большая научная работа.
Lot of scientific works are doing there.
В которой принимают участие не только сотрудники университета, но и студенты.
In which all the professors and even students are participating there.
Разработки ученых защищаются ежегодно минимум 50 патентами.
Lot of patented products are there.
Сотрудниками разработаны часть лекарственных препаратов, всемирно известных. Это касается сорбентов, антисептиков, анестетиков.
Lot of patented medicines are they have produced.
Издательская работа сотрудников заключается в публикациях зарубежных, как в отечественных, так и зарубежных журналах.
Yes, sir. All these productions will be published in foreigner magazines and local magazines also.
Издаются учебные пособия ежегодно не менее 10.
Every year more than 10 type of things, this type of things will be created there.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Mr. Sanjeet. It's wonderful to hear what Mr. Oleg had to talk about Vinnytsia University. And obviously, it has got a bit of a history. Ukraine is a lovely country, and thousands of students go from India and other part of the world to Ukraine to study. Just so that there are a lot of questions still coming through, and I would like to take another 2 or 3 more questions. We are running out of the time because of extending the duration of the session. But there's a next question which comes through, sir. It says, and I need a little bit clarification. The question says, do Ukraine have co-op programs, cooperative programs? What exactly it means, Mr. Daktore? Would you like to elaborate on this question, please?
Студенты имеют возможность жить в общежитиях, 7 общежитий, заниматься в читальных залах, пользоваться библиотекой.
Okay, I'm not able to. Mr. Daktore, would you like to address your question, please? Your microphone is muted, please. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Thanks. This question is actually to Natalia.
Программы обучения,
We wanted to.
используемые в университете.
Yes, Mr. Daktore.
Sorry, we wanted to know: are there any co-op programs, company-operated programs, which are there, like we have in Germany and Canada?
Yes, we have near 10 educational programs. 7 of them are with IT cluster, because we have such association of ITs, foreign companies, IT cluster, and they ask Lviv Polytechnic to organize some educational program according to their needs. For example, this summer, we decided to start the program of deal with the sales of IT products. And on our last meeting, we decided to start from the new academic year the educational program Artificial Intellectual at the bachelor level, because in the previous year it was in the master level. Yes, and these programs that are started with the cooperation of the industrial companies on the educational market are very popular from from the foreign students. And also we have such co-op program with our company, DTEC. It's an energy company that where we align the needs of the energy companies with the possibilities of our professors and needs on the labor market. Yes,
Thank
we
you.
have the same practice. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mrs. Natalia. I have
Thank
one
you.
last question, madam, and this is comes through from India. For medical, we need to have NEET examination to join medical colleges in Ukraine. In India, when people go to IIT or engineering colleges, they have an examination called joint entrance examination. Is this a requirement to join any of the engineering colleges or universities in Ukraine as well? Or their admission is based on how much they have scored in year 12 of the study and other aspects? Would you like to answer this, Ms. Natalia?
As for the entering exams, so we sure look to the exams of entering school, of the secondary school, but at the same time, we at our university, we ask the people to pass our internal exam, oral exam in English and in specialty. We have for foreign students the exam on our national level or something, it will be not difficult. But you see, we see to the level of the document from the secondary school.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Just a second, I will clarify this. JEE exam is not required in Ukraine for technical or engineering courses. Only 12th class exam result is enough.
Okay, that's very kind. So thank you very much. I think the next question which comes out, and there's a two-prompt question, madam. First thing which goes to Ms. Ludmila, just correct me if I got your information that we can send students to your university until the March of 2021 for medical college. Is that right? For 2021 session?
Yes, next year we are planning to have 2 admission sessions to our university, not college. So the first one will start on the 15th of January next year and will last till the 1st of March. And the second session we are planning to start from the 14th of July, and it will last till the 1st of November, also next year. For admission, for entering, our applicants need to have a general certificate about previous level of education with supplement.
Thank you, madam, very much. Is the same thing, Natalia, for your university as well?
You see, we for our preparation courses, we may start it even in February or March, but for the our main educational programs, English language programs usually started in the 1st of November. So we are planned to start our company from July, like Ludmila said, and all our English language courses programs will start on the 1st of November.
That's very, very kind. Thank you very much, ma'am. Absolutely wonderful information. That gives us a lot of relief. In UK, normally the session used to start in September, but this year, because of the lockdown, a lot of students could not come to UK to study. So they started a session in January. They're doing a session for February. They're doing a session for March. They're having a session for April. So people who want to come to UK or Ukraine, they are given this facility to join the session a bit late. It does understand, and that's what makes the thing. I think we're still getting a lot of questions we would like to pass on to you, but we are just running out of the time because we had limited time for the session. I would like to thank Ms. Natalia Chukhrai, Ms. Ludmila, Mr. Igor, Mr. Oleg, Mr. Sanjeet, and everybody who is here today, who joined to talk about study in Ukraine. I think you have answered a lot of questions. It'll help us at a company at RSR Global across the world, and those who have joined to know more about it. And we will we'd like to work with you more in advance and making sure to send many students across to your universities and help them to become good doctors, engineers, and scientists. Thank you very much, madam. It's been a pleasure to have you all today, and we look forward contacting you again in the very near future. We plan to do this kind of session more often. We will have alternative programs whereby we can bring universities across the world on a weekly basis. So please stay in touch. Our contact details are contact@rsrglobal.co. My name is Rajesh Srivastava. I'd like to thank you all for being here today. Have a lovely day. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much for invitation. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.